Hey there. So, for today's episode, for today's video, we're going to be recapping season 2 of the 52-week activity challenge series. I'll be talking about what I enjoyed, what I didn't enjoy so much, just sort of reflecting on the series in the same way that I did for season 1. Unlike season 1's recap video, I will be including some outtakes and bloopers from across the 12 episodes of season 2. Let's get started. I thought that was a fucking person. So that's what we're going to be doing today. Sorry for TMI, but I ate broccoli for lunch. Like, I'm fine with the cooked stuff, but when it's raw, it's like my body is like, wow, I fucking hate that you did that. Just like rocking back and forth. That's the entire video. That's it. That's my activity this week. I'm gonna start off by talking about some of my favorites. There's actually so many activities that I just thoroughly enjoyed doing that it's really hard to pick a favorite. In fact, it's almost impossible. I think I struggled with this for season 1's recap too, but I think it was a lot easier for me to pinpoint particular favorites. But for this season, I just think I really nailed it, man. Like, a lot of the activities I did were genuinely fun. Like, even the ones that weren't, like, extremely fun to actually do, the editing for this season was really improved as well. So I think the problem for me is that even when I'm looking back on them, I'm thinking of the way that I edited them. I think, weirdly enough, it's like the way that I edited those activities, even for me, made me like them better. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's almost like I fooled myself into thinking they were more fun than they were. I guess if I had to choose like ones that particularly stand out to me off the top of my head, it would be ones like building a snow dog or a snowman with Wiley, the photo shoot that I did, just because I really liked the way that those photos turned out. The little bird murals that I painted on the wall, I'm actually gonna really miss those since my parents sold their house. It makes me sort of sad I did them so late and I didn't have as much time to enjoy them on my wall. Collecting seashells really stands out to me just because it was one of the few activities I've done where I've gone out and filmed outside of my parents' property. I don't normally do that, so that kind of stood out to me for that reason as well. It was very memorable. I also really liked just the footage that I got and the way that it was edited and such. Especially the short version that I posted to my Instagram with that old camera filter. Whenever I think of that activity, I think of that specifically. And also playing a new video game. I actually didn't realize until I was looking back throughout this season that the Breath of the Wild one was only done a year ago. It feels like it was so much longer than that, and it also feels like it was part of season 1 instead of season 2 because it feels like it was that long ago. But yeah, Breath of the Wild and playing that for the first time and having my reaction to the game actually like documented in a way is very special to me because it ended up becoming like an amazing experience playing that game. Like 10 out of 10. It will probably always be one of my favorites, and it's what got me back into playing video games and also my love of the Zelda series. So that one also is a standout for me. A lot of the stuff I don't use very frequently goes in here. Is this it? Yeah, that's it. It's a small set. I don't remember if it actually came in this tin or if this tin was for something else and I just collected all of my... Yeah, this isn't all the same stuff. Actually, these are like all my special pencils. These are... Yeah, this is the charcoal set here, I think. Graphite pencil. But... the fuck? That is so funny. I reused packaging from pencils to store all of my charcoal stuff. I wonder what happened to the original packaging. I thought that the original was like I remember it being like a square, like a flat box. So many jars. Artist quality, credit color, black box. It is so dusty. Oh my god. Let me see. Yeah, baby. This is gonna sound so boring, but I actually don't even really have a least favorite either, to be honest with you. Like for season 1, I definitely for sure had ones that I didn't like as much as others. But for this one, it was actually really hard to choose. I was going through the list of all of the different activities I'd done and each month and episode that I'd done them in, and it was like I couldn't think of a single one that I genuinely didn't enjoy doing. The thing is that even if they were like really simplistic, even if they were even somewhat boring for you to watch, it's like I got something out of it, you know what I mean? And so whether it was just the fun of doing the activity, whether it was learning something new, trying something out of my comfort zone, I was always getting something out of each activity, so none of them felt like a waste. And it's not like any of them went so badly that they weren't worth doing, you know what I mean? Or that they were like I remember them negatively. I could just fake it, Mackenzie. They're not gonna know. Oh, shit. I exited out because I panicked. I didn't want any, like, spoilers. Like, I didn't, but now I'm really confused because I don't see a rod. Where is history? Seriously, where did history go? Oh my god, right there the whole fucking time. I'm so stupid today. The movie will be projected on the wall. Wait until the points to a particular spot on the wall along with box on the wall. Tap this to find a safe. Okay. So, cut to here because I'm sinister like that today. So this has to be something. Your mood can change very quickly, absolutely, but that's because I'm mentally ill. Like, again, I don't think that's necessarily a personality trait. I don't like the use of the word fascinated. Like, that's what's throwing me off because that makes it sound like a positive thing. Like, I'm excited about it. And, like, I'm not excited. I'm not enthralled by the concept of death. I'm actually just terrified of it. So I'm going to say disagree because the wording is weird, but you usually prefer to be around others rather than on your own, because I worry that the term fascinated, like I said, it feels positive, but I'm worried what they're actually asking is if I'm fearless or not. Like, are you afraid of death or are you not afraid of death, basically, is like what I feel like they were asking there. And I feel like by saying disagree, I just said that I don't fear death. And I like I'm impulsive, like I'll just do things. I guess if I had to choose a least favorite, relearning how to knit comes to mind, actually, just because, like, I mean, the activity itself was fine to do, but even the way that I edited it, I didn't think was as creative or as visually interesting as other activities that I did that were just as like simplistic or boring. Actually, you know what? Not even, scratch that. I think I disliked the origami one more because neither of them really worked out. Like, the origamis were ugly, but like I don't know, the origami just wasn't as fun to do as the marble one was. Like, at least the marble one was kind of funny and I got some good laughs out of it, even if it totally didn't work out well. So at least it was redeemable in that sense. But the origami one, actually, you know what, I'm gonna make that my least favorite. That was my least favorite one. Everything from the way that I filmed it to the way that it was edited to just the activity itself just wasn't as enjoyable as other activities. So yeah, I'll label that one as my least favorite. And then around the window and like throughout the rose bush, there would be rose bush. I'm gonna tell my mom about it. Wish me luck. Hope I don't die.
What, your eye thing?
No.
Oh my god.
What do you think?
Very cute.
Yeah.
You want to know what I thought when I came in here earlier?
What, your mom's gonna kill you?
No.
That's what I was worried
thought
about.
she had birds sitting there. I thought they were like.
Did you take pictures of them?
Yeah, I'm
Just
gonna take better pictures.
From right here, it
and
looks like you have something sitting on the top of the window.
I started at 10
I just
a.m.
looked at Irie. That's the first thing I looked at.
Well, she is the queen.
You know, when I showed this to Kate, Kate's gonna be like, "Oh my God, will Kenzie come over and paint birds on my borders?"
No. This took 6 hours.
You know
and my
she
knees
will.
hurt so fucking bad. I'm gonna have like major knee pain tomorrow because they already hurt. Just from standing there, you know what I mean? And like standing on a chair just fucking killed my knees.
Now you gotta do it on this side.
No, just.
Or better yet, you know what you should do?
What do you think, Bill?
You should paint a picture of Shorty. Right
Oh
here.
no, I would feel too sad. Oh look, Birdie.
No, so then it looks like she's with you, like right
She
here,
is
walking
always
along
with
the
me.
edge like she used to.
Birdie, look at.
He can't see that, Kenzie. You like talking to
He
nobody.
did look
like,
up, but.
Where you going, Bo?
I spent my whole day.
Not time for Booby to be. Never a time for
Still
Booby to be
alive.
there.
When looking back and reflecting on season 2, I'm actually really proud with how it turned out as a whole. The editing was much improved from season 1. I was trying a lot of new things. I was playing around with different filters and different aesthetics. A lot of the activities were more physical, more involved. I stepped out of my comfort zone a lot for season 2. Everything from, filming outside of my family's property, which was new for me in terms of doing things I normally wouldn't do. And I challenged myself a lot with this season in a way that I don't think I did as much for season 1. And most importantly, I actually completed it. That definitely makes it automatically the better season. With season 1, I obviously cut it short because of grief. And that was not something I could have seen coming. I think if it hadn't been for that, I would have seen it through to the end. But, I didn't. So this season, though, I did. I really pushed myself, even when I did fall behind a little bit, even when I had so much filmed, I just hadn't edited. Like, I had like 4 episodes worth filmed at one point, but I was so behind on editing. And so, like, this series still didn't quite go the way that I wanted it to, because just like with season 1, I fell behind, like I said, with things like filming some of them. I fell behind with editing especially, and so these episodes weren't as consistent in terms of upload times as they should have been. But I'm really proud of the fact that I at least finished it. Like, I saw this project through to the end this time, no matter how frustrating it was, no matter how far behind I got, no matter how many obstacles I hit with it, or even if I wasn't happy with how something filmed it, instead of doing it again, I just, it was like, I'm gonna work with what I have. And I was persistent about it. I was very serious about finishing it, even when I didn't want to. Like, there's points where I wanted to give up and not film anything else for this series and just move on to other things that I'm a little more passionate about. I kind of like set those things aside so that I could have time to finish this project, because it was so important to me to do so. And so I'm just really proud of that specifically. Smoky stuff. The fuck do you call that? Mist. I believe this is the last. It's continuing to fall apart. So for today's activity, we're going to be doing a Rubik's Cube. No, I hate that. So for those of you who don't know what I mean when I say photo challenge, I mean those pictures of, those aspects of analog media, photos and videos, is just so special, and it's just so, I don't know where I was going with what I was saying. So I'm gonna keep doing, I explained that terribly, but we're gonna make do, because I don't have time to film my opening 72,000 times. Overall, I'm just very satisfied with the fact that this season was completed, but also the state I completed it in, where I felt like the editing had improved from season 1. I felt like the activities were more interesting, even just if the editing made it seem so. So overall, I just think I'm very satisfied with the way that season 2 went. That said, I've decided that I will not be doing a season 3. I may pick it up again in the future. I do plan on at least going to Japan for school for at least a year, starting in April of next year. If everything goes well, that's still up in the air, but we'll talk about that in a future video. And so if that does end up happening, I think that would be actually a great opportunity to do a season 3. I'd have so many options in terms of activities and things that I could do, and I think it would be overall a lot more interesting and more exciting to do a season 3 at that time. So that may be something I do in the future, but for now I feel that I've done everything that can be done with this series. There isn't enough items on the list that's left over. There's maybe 10 to 15 items left that I didn't do. If it were to be 52 weeks, as the first 2 seasons were, there wouldn't be enough to fill that. I'd have to bulk up the list with other activities, and honestly, it was such a struggle to come up with enough good activities that would be interesting to do for something like this for season 2 after doing so many during season 1, because I'd rather not repeat activities if I can avoid it. I would just have a hard time finding enough activities to fill out a list to do 52 weeks of activities without it getting ridiculous or those activities actually being kind of difficult for me to do. Oh, that was a burp. I think you're already full of cookies. Okay. Careful of the camera. It's literally right in front of you. You look so cute. Can you see yourself? I don't think he can see himself. I'm not even in frame, my guy. You're not in frame. See, look, boo-boo. Look that. Who's that guy? Who's that guy? You see? He doesn't like the weather outside. It's definitely frightful. We got the crazy storm just in time for Christmas, huh, boo-boo? Oh, the weather outside is frightful, but the Wiley is so delightful. You know how this works. One for you, one for Mom. Okay. Cookie! Yeah! I decided to do a season 2 in the first place because I wasn't satisfied with the way that season 1 went and the way that it ended as abruptly as it did. I felt like I needed to give the series another shot because it deserved that. But I feel satisfied with season 2. Like, I liked the way that it turned out. I liked, you know, I completed it. Like, I feel satisfied enough that I'm ready to move on from this series and do other things. It honestly hasn't gotten a lot of views anyway. These videos get maybe 3 to 4 views on average, if that. There's still some episodes that have only like 1 or 2 views, and like a view on YouTube, it's like 10 seconds minimum, then it counts as a view, I think, because most of my videos have like maybe people watch the first 4 minutes on average and then they click off. So most people aren't even watching this series like in full anyway. So I also, even for that reason, I don't feel obligated to do a season 3 because there's not a demand for it on my channel. I went into this with that expectation that it might be very much the same as season 1, where nobody really watched that one either, and I was okay with that because it was a personal project, so whether other people watched it or not didn't really matter. It was always about personal improvement. It was about getting out of my comfort zone, trying new things. It was about discovering my editing style and improving in that area, and trying to develop consistency and about personal growth. Like, it was always a personal project for me. I'm so excited to have more time to film, edit, and share content that I'm currently passionate about and that I hope others will enjoy as much as I do. There will be more art and journaling content as usual, and also I will be doing more vlog style content because that is the core of what I do here on this channel, but I'll also be adding videos about stuff like Japanese language and culture and entertainment to the mix, which is something that I haven't done previously. I know I've said this before, but I also would like to do more fashion related content, and even like I wanted to kind of dip into even like my love of video games. I would need to get a capture card. Like there's so many things I'd have to do for that, but like eventually long term, I just have so many creative ideas. I have like such a long list of video projects that I would love to do, things that I would love to make videos on, things that I'm passionate about, hobbies and interests and stuff. And because the 52 series takes up so much of my time with both filming it, editing it, planning for it, etc., I haven't had the time for like anything else but this. Like I have content that's filmed, but it's like in purgatory waiting to be edited because there's just no time outside of editing this series. It's very time consuming. So I'm so excited to finally have the time to make other content that hopefully will be a little bit more appreciated, because as a content creator it gets a little bit ridiculous when I invest, like this is almost a full-time job at this point, between filming, editing, planning, etc., and it's like I'm not getting anywhere with views, and obviously this series doesn't speak to people enough to click on it, and like I get it, I'm a nobody, you know what I mean? So like I do see the core issue of it being a vlogger. You are your own brand, and so people have to have an interest in that. There has to be something about you that's interesting, and I recognize that as fun as this series has been for me, and maybe it'll be fun for people in the future once I start developing a larger subscriber base. I haven't grown much in the last year. I went from having, I think I had 8 subscribers at the start of season 2, and I now have 23. I had 24 and then someone unsubscribed last month, so we've dropped down to 23. And that's not great growth for a YouTuber in the span of a year. That's not awesome at all. That's really poor, actually. That's like shit development. So I've seen YouTubers that started 3 months ago that have a couple thousand subscribers, and it is starting to kind of affect me a little bit. It's disheartening to kind of experience that. So I don't know, I just think that by ending this series here, like I've done it, I accomplished what I wanted to, I'm happy with it, I'm satisfied, and I'm hoping that what I move on to will be more successful. Not that I'm doing it with the aim of that by any means, like, I am doing content creation without getting anything at all back from it other than the enjoyment of doing it. So like, don't get me wrong, I'm not like aiming to, get like 10,000 subs within the next year or some shit. Like I'm not trying to like go viral or anything. It's just that I would like to start seeing the content that I put so much love and effort into to actually be enjoyed by people, because that's the point of doing it. Like I'm already doing these things anyway, but I might as well film it and maybe someone can get some joy and happiness out of it. And so I would like to see that eventually come to fruition. I would like to see more people start to enjoy what I create. So I'm very excited about that. I'm excited about trying new things and moving on, and hopefully seeing my small little corner of the internet grow. So that is it for the final episode of this series. To those of you who have watched this series, all 3 or 4 of you who have kind of watched it casually, I really appreciate the support. I really appreciate that you got something out of it, that it was enjoyable to some degree. If this is the first episode you've watched for some reason, or if you've watched this season and you would be interested in watching season 1, I do have a playlist on my channel where you can watch all of them and binge watch it if you wanted to for some reason. If you've been watching my content, whether this series or other videos that I've done, and you haven't subscribed yet, feel free to do so. If you would like to follow my journey and see how my little corner of the internet grows from here. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in my next video.